Hey, good morning, everybody. Mike Shea, Transworld Business Advisors, here with my buddy Tracy Stein. He is one of the owners, among other things, of Redfox Promo. And in the course of what I do as a business broker, I often come across small businesses that, frankly, are a little deficient on the marketing side. And Tracy is a guru at marketing. So I thought I would get about 10 or 20 minutes of his, and he's actually been doing some consulting, some free consulting during the COVID crisis, 2-hour consult. So if you want, reach out to him after this. He'll give his contact information. But Tracy's going to give us 3 or 4 things that are really important for business owners to peg out on with regard to marketing and brand awareness. So, morning, Tracy.
Morning. How you doing?
Good. I just got a tour of the house. It's beautiful.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I had to move things around. I'm almost done. But anyways.
So tell us a little bit about Redfox Promo and then some marketing tips for people.
Well, right now we're in this infamous COVID virus thing. And unfortunately, as you know, the virus has made traditional marketing and sales complicated. You can't have your sales rep go out as much because a lot of businesses are closed. There's a lot of things, a lot of people aren't spending money in marketing and advertising right now. And actually that's kind of a mistake. Typically one of the first budgets that people cut are marketing and advertising and promotions. If there's a time to capture a market, this is the time that you try to go capture a market, is you go after and start targeting different ways instead of traditional ways. So if you're not on the internet and if you're not on social media, you should really focus on those 2 aspects, because that's where you're going to get most of your leads from, especially during this pandemic. A lot of people are at home. A lot of people are on the internet. So if you are and you've backed off, you probably should not. You should restructure your entire brand marketing and strategy. This is the time that you actually want to do some things different. I'm the owner, again, I'm one of the owners of Redfox Promo. We are a brand marketing advertising specialty company. We have over 20,000 products, promotional products, uniforms, and sports apparel, but we also have a sub-marketing group that we help people with social media marketing, internet marketing, getting their website. A lot can be done on the internet by yourself for as much as like maybe 30 minutes to an hour a day to make a difference in your sales. It's all about getting out to the public on a regular basis and establishing your reputation and your rapport. So that is like essential right now in this environment, because there are a lot of people that aren't doing it. And that means a lot of your competitors may have just backed off. And this is the opportunity to capture some of the market and develop a position in your market of control. I tell people, for example, we have giveaway. You give giveaways to customers. You give giveaways to your, gifts to your employees and things like that. Well, I'm real big on giving gifts that are higher end, that they will last for years, versus a pen, unless it's a super nice pen, or a throwaway or a giveaway that will last like a month or 2. A good example would be a Yeti mug. A Yeti mug, giving somebody a Yeti mug is like gold to them. That's like huge, because there are a lot of people who still don't have Yeti mugs. And they're going to remember that, especially if you've done you've done your tagline and you have your information on the Yeti mug. It's going to make a huge difference. When it comes to marketing on the internet and social media, there are a lot of platforms that people don't even consider for marketing. One of them is nextdoor.com. That is your neighborhood, where neighborhoods talk about things in the specific neighborhood or area or part of the city. And people actually, when they move, they go to nextdoor.com to look at different places and get comments about crime and the school systems. So the great thing about it is Nextdoor, for example, we do a lot of marketing on Nextdoor. One thing about Nextdoor that I like is I see a lot of requests for general contractors, realtors, mortgage brokers, insurance, a lot of trades, air conditioning, electric, plumbing, painting, rehab, restoration. I just see a lot of medical too. Like, for example, looking for a primary care physician, a pediatric physician, just a lot of great ways to market. And it's not expensive. That's the beautiful thing. Very inexpensive when you do these little marketing things. There's another one called alignable.com. That is a referral network. I've actually picked up 5 clients for Redfox on that. And I was just playing around with it. And then you get in more depth to it. You build up your alignable and you start partnering. And this is another thing that I'm trying to get people to do, is to partner with other businesses, to become like a package deal. Find someone that's reputable to partner and market with. Something that is complementary to your business. For example, a guy sells, someone who installs pools, for example, but he doesn't sell the equipment. Well, you get with somebody who sells the equipment, and then that's somebody who installs the equipment. Okay, a roofing contractor would be another good thing. A lot of times when they're pressure washing roofs and things like that, they notice that things, the roof may be old or whatever, and that would be a good referral source to work together with someone who pressure washes roofs. There are many, many different ways to partner with somebody, and you split the advertising cost. So the thing is that you spend the same amount of money, but you get twice as much exposure. And I think in these times, you really, really if you're not on the internet, you're doing yourself a disservice. The other important thing about the internet is reviews and basically testimonials. If you score below 4.0 on Google, I can guarantee you're not getting a lot of business, because that's the benchmark. Actually 4.3, to be honest with you. If you're somewhere between 4.3 and 4.7, you're going to get somebody's attention. If you're 5.0 and you have 1 star, you only have 1 review, or you have 100 reviews, well, I can tell you for a fact that something's not right. So what you want to do is you want to make it so that your reviews stand out in Yelp, in Google, in Facebook, and any other place that does reviews. You want to get part of the Better Business Bureau. A lot of people will check the Better Business Bureau and see how you review there. You should ask your customers to review you in different places as much as possible, because your reputation score is vital in the business world today. It's actually really, really important. And you should reward, you should have a referral program. That's another thing a lot of businesses have been doing for like the better part of like 5 to 10 decades now, is offering referral. Basically, they're paying you to refer people, and they're giving you discounts on your future business with them, or they're going to give you cash back. So referral is super important, and I highly recommend that you do referrals in the future.
What do you think the psychological, it always baffles me as to the lack of awareness that people have, professionals, particularly our age, around social media, like it's some mystery, when all it is the same thing that's been going on for hundreds of years. It's just now in a digital world. The disconnect they have with regard to who's on Facebook, right? So Facebook's for kids, and I'm going, or they'll get political about it and go, and this is from a business perspective, I don't want to go there because the government's watching me. And it's like, well, this is where consumers and customers are, right? This is where people are, like next door. This is where the person who buys the services for the home is asking for their friend who's now 5,000 miles away or a mile away or 2. And particularly in the COVID world, they're not leaving their houses. They're not having social interaction with a cocktail party. They can ask for a referral. They're doing it all in this space. And yet business owners are almost evangelical about not going into that space.
Yeah.
Like staking their stake in the ground. What's the disconnect?
The disconnect is this, well, especially of late, the last 4 or 5 years, a lot of businesses, the problem is that a lot of companies that do the marketing, they overpromise and underdeliver. And so there's a disconnect. And when a lot of these people have already used marketing services and didn't get a good result.
Right.
Reason
That's real.
Yeah, there's a real reason. First of all, there's a lot of overpromising and underdelivering. Secondly, and I would say back 3-4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, it took about 3 months to see results after you do your marketing. Now the lag time is about 6 months before you start seeing results. And when I say you may get 1 or 2 clients per week, but the big results come about 6 months and beyond. And it depends on the content and how much you're marketing. And that's a good strategist will put a good marketing strategist will put together a good package with a well-defined market and focused. Great thing about Facebook and Instagram, you don't have to spend a whole bunch. And you can also target your market based on demographics, male, female, age, zip code, county, city, state, country, multiple states, multiple cities. So you have a lot of options. And the great thing about Facebook, it feeds right into Instagram. You click a button and you get Instagram. So typically Facebook is for the older generation, 36 and older, 35 and older. Younger generation is Instagram, but I'm seeing more Facebook accounts for the younger group too now. And it's migrating, it's getting bigger. Instagram's getting bigger. Facebook is stabilizing or getting a little bit bigger. You have to do it, and you have to do it consistently. Before, they used to say post 3 or 4 times a week. Honestly, I believe you should post at least once a day.
Right.
You should provide. The trick about Facebook marketing or any marketing is providing free information. Do not ever provide nothing but sales ads, because if you do, you're not going to get a lot of people. Those are nice, but you need to provide information like how to maintain your AC equipment, how to maintain your pool equipment.
Right. Something of value.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that disconnect. And I think that's real, where people have, because they don't know it. And this is what I think you do a good job of, is business owners don't know enough to know when their provider isn't doing the job. So it's incumbent upon a business owner in an environment that moves as quickly as it does to understand how the platforms work, and to have real expectations about how long it's going to take to turn, what are the simple things they can do cost effectively themselves, so they can know when somebody. So I get in this debate in my company, where our president will tell our agents and our franchisees to go out and hire someone to do their marketing. And then me, who's an active broker, will, and I'm pretty savvy on this front, I'll see stuff they're not doing and call my CEO and go, like Google My Business, I've been beating on people for years. And, I called them up and I went, I shouldn't be telling you this. The marketing guy should be telling you this, right? This isn't my function. This is what we're paying them to do. So I just am baffled by how you can't walk around the world and see people with their faces in their phones and then not be going, I need to be in front of those people, just like a billboard.
Well, and here's the other
the vendors that exist out there.
Yeah. Here's another thing, is it's all about the number of contacts. When I grew up and started learning sales back in the early 90s, the one thing I learned about sales and marketing was, back then it was like 6 or 8 contacts before you get a sale. I mean, honestly, now you need like 25 contacts before you get a sale, maybe even more.
Yeah, I would say it's closer to 40.
Yeah, more like 40 or 50. The reason is, if you add how many ads that you listen to on your phone, Facebook, social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google, then you take an account for the news station, the radio, and then just phones that show up on your advertisements just show up on your phone in a text. You're getting hit probably, you don't even know it. You're probably getting hit close to 100 times a day or even more.
Right.
Ads. The reality is that you have to compete with that space. And they're like, well, they're not talking all about painting. Well, you're not. That's the problem. You're competing with everybody else for space.
Yeah.
If they're selling pots and pans, if they're selling insurance, they're selling brokerage firm,
Yep.
they're selling a car, that is all your competition. Your competition is not just the world the industry that you're within when it comes to it's the whole platform.
Yeah. When I was at Pepsi, we used to, everyone in the market or in the sales, in the route sales division would go, Coke's the enemy. And I would be of the mind of like, no, everything that's a share of the stomach is the enemy. The water is the enemy. The juices are the enemy. The coffee companies are the enemy, because just like a stomach expands to a point where you can't take it anymore. Every time somebody else is getting a choice of any kind, it's consuming. And you're talking about the mental, overwhelming of the marketing, and that's why the value proposition you touched on earlier is so important. Is the guy has to be able, or the guy or the gal, when they're giving their message, has to give something that touches the customer. So I think sometimes small business owners execute marketing and they'll do it. I have a Facebook page. I'm on social media. And I'm like, well, if you just have a page, your execution sucks. And that's why you get zero results.
Well, here's the other thing is a lot of people say, well, I threw up a page on Instagram. I threw up a page on Facebook. I got one on LinkedIn. I've got a website. Are you drawing traffic to it? Are you actually engaged? And that's another huge thing. You have to engage with customers. That's the huge thing. When you get phone calls or you get messages or you get any conversation from anything on social media or any platform on the internet, you have to engage. You have to give something for free. Free content, free information, free knowledge. Do a giveaway. We still get a lot of when we do free giveaways. We get a lot. I know a lot of these auto dealers, like once or twice a year, will give away a free car. And you should see the people that come out. I mean, I'm talking thousands of people will come to their store, free car, right? Well, here's the thing. You know how many people that those 1,000 people tell that they got a free car, that they could get a free, tell thousands more. And then you get news station coverage.
Right. And the contacts. And the contacts and the data.
Yeah.
The data.
Well, we see you got 1,000 new contacts right now. Let's say you give away a new car that's 30 grand. Let's just say that's the number. And you only need, let's say, 6 or 8 customers to make up the cost for that car. So the value of that marketing, you couldn't, for that amount of money, you couldn't get on a news station for maybe a couple months, maybe, right? But the thing is that value you get is you got contacts, you got 1,000 new contacts, and all you need is 6 or 8 sales out of that to break even. Well, darn well you got 1,000 people, you're probably going to get at least 10 to 15 sales. So you're going to make money by doing something like that. So that's always, you have to think about it. If I give away a $200 gift card, you have to look at what you're going to get, and that's contacts, and you're going to get more people to see your site. And I'm just using an example. You can give away, you can go out and get Yeti mugs with your buy like, go through go through Redfox promo, get really nice Yeti mugs imprinted with all your information on, and give like 10 or 20 out a month on your social media platform. And you based on like, okay, the number of clicks, the number of shares, you'll be put into a lottery and you get a free mug. Okay. And the next thing you know, you got 400, 500, 1,000 a month of new people looking at your site. And you spent like, let's say $10 a mug total or whatever. I don't know what the number would be, depends on the quantity that you buy, but let's say you spent $10 a mug. So let's say you spend $100, you give away 10 a month, but you got $500 in business. You got $1,000 in business.
Yeah. I think the point is that this is nothing new. This is why, I was walking through Sam's on Saturday, and there was a Generac, generator business, rep standing there with the old kiosk and a stand, and she was taking orders. And I know as an ex-retail, consumer product guy that they paid to get in that position. And now whether they execute and sell, it's a totally different discussion, but they had a captive audience walking in high traffic down a lane, which is no different than the computer we're looking on and the traffic that people are on. And business owners need to understand that this is where the consumer's attention is, and you need to maximize it. It's no different than going to a BNI group. It's no different than going to a networking event. It's just now we're being forced into a digital world. It's proved out the model of why. Now, when you talk about the Yeti mug, I think this important distinction is you choose that because there's a perception of value and quality on that Yeti mug. When you're giving stuff away, don't give away a crap pen, because it's going to devalue your brand if you're on it. You have to give something good.
Michael, you make a phenomenal point. This is what I'm trying to steer people away. You give higher quality products away to your people who have a good network. You kind of target market. You can do the lottery system. You could do like a contest or whatever. But the thing is, by giving away a quality product, it shows the quality of your company. It's a representation. You give away a mug, a plastic cup mug, that the imprint will wash off in 2 washes, or a pen that breaks. That, I can tell you right now, they're going to see the name on the side of your pen and it says Murphy Law Firm. I guarantee it, they'll never go to Murphy Law Firm if that thing breaks. But if they have a really nice pen, a $25 pen that's valued at, let's say, $50 or $60, they're going to remember that Murphy Law Firm. So it's the difference in the quality versus quantity. And I always tell people, you're going to get a lot more out of quality than you are going to get. Well, in this particular scenario, there are some scenarios that quantity does work, quantity marketing work. This is not one of them. This is more like you want quality. You're giving away an item, it better be quality. If you're giving it, let's say you're going to some like EDC fair, and they're giving away free plastic fans or something like that. That's different, though. Okay, they're giving away plastic mugs or a T-shirt. That target market doesn't matter. You can give them a glass of water, a bottle of water, and they're going to be happy. Okay, right. That doesn't matter. That's a different scenario. But when you're looking at quality, your referral base, and the type of demographics that you're targeting, that's where you need to think about quality, and that's really important. There are certain situations where you can market with quantity, but that's going to be a lesser product. It's going to be a lower item product.
Yeah, I would think that, if anyone has a chance to take a class in something, psychology is a massive, marketing is psychology, and
it's all psychology.
Yeah. And we spend a whole bunch of time sending people through accounting classes, when sales and psychology and understanding how people think and perceptions and how to make impressions. Like when you said the Yeti story, I went to, in my back of my mind, I go, okay, that's going to have impressions thereafter, because that person will not throw that thing away. And every time they pick it up, they're going to see the brand. And there's a subconscious effect of that over time. Reason, it's the same reason, I carry tons of listings, because it creates a perception of my presence in the marketplace. And yet there's brokers in my world who will only do big transactions. So there's 1 or 2. I'm like, well, you're missing the opportunity to be in front of millions of people. Hence the volume question, right? So there's
hence the volume question.
And you have to balance those 2 dynamics. How do you create the perception of quality? That's when you have suits and visual and your presentation and how articulate you are when you get an opportunity to speak to people, and your execution and your celebration of your victories. And then how do you make sure you're casting as wide a net when you're fishing? I'm teaching brokers, I use do you want to go, whale hunting, or you want to, go down and cast your net into at salmon season and catch a lot of fish? The one guy, if you win, you may be a hero, but Moby Dick usually kills everybody, right?
Yeah. And I think to your point is there is a great deal of psychology involved in marketing. You wouldn't see, trust me, everything has been broken down to color, to sound, to demographics. You target certain demographics, you'll see those change as well. You'll see, somebody who's retiring. You'll see they'll use older people. They'll use younger people, middle-aged people. Here's a good example of marketing. When COVID shut down, we shut down in a few months. I don't know about you, but probably every 15 minutes you saw a pizza commercial ad. Okay. Very targeted, very, very order online, delivery within 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. And add on this for $1, you get some chicken wings, or add on this, you get a Coke, 2 liter of Coke. They were marketing with the colors, with the sound, to all demographics in different areas. They were punching out different, even zip codes, based on the local store. And they were saying, we can get to you in 15 minutes. We can get to, so they were doing things. They had this all planned out, very quickly to switch gears. And the TV stations, you saw it. It was everywhere. Pizza marketing went crazy when COVID shut down. You want to know why? Everybody's at home. They're getting tired of cooking and they want to order a pizza. Yep. And I wouldn't be surprised if pizza sales were the highest ever in March, April, and May of this year, maybe June.
Look, we're, my company's a small business. And if you look at the background I'm having right now, there is a great deal of consistency in color and lighting. It's golden green. And, we're in business. We sell businesses and we're all about money. So we're not going to have blue. Green has an implication. It has an implication regarding funding and money. Gold, it has an implication with regard to, high quality and value. So we were very specific in how we picked our brand. We just rebranded. We'll be launching a new logo soon. But again, very specific in the colors and consistency of it. And I'm baffled when people try and go out and they pick colors that they like, not what the market wants, which is it just baffles me. It's like, I don't care if you like black and red, or I don't care if you like, purple or Hogwarts, yellow. It has to be what the consumer wants. It's not about you, it's about them. You follow?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. You have to figure out the little key that triggers the consumer to want to buy. Here's another important thing that might help. I see a lot of ads from people in small businesses with no action phrase. Okay. You have to have action phrases. This gets people mentally to trigger to buy. You got to do an action. It's got to be something like buy today, place your order today. It's got to be something buy now, get your discount now, things like that. By not doing that, you're not allowing the person to trigger a reaction in their mind. It's subliminal messaging. Okay. Buy now is a very, very powerful thing subconsciously. And there are people who's in minds that will trigger response immediately, or it'll be remembered and they have to buy by the end of the day.
And that goes to the psychology. I think small business owners oftentimes think that I don't respond to that. What they don't understand is they're not the marketplace.
They're not the marketplace.
Yeah, the marketplace is made up of, I always have this discussion and it always baffles me. And the world's changing so fast. So the market's changing every day and the demands of the markets are changing. You went to the pizza thing, they saw an opportunity. They saw a condition in the marketplace for people across an entire multiple demographics, and said, okay, people are stuck at home. We've already got the business model of efficiency while everybody doesn't. Let's see some market share and get some volume driven. I guarantee you, pizza sales went through. Like our friend who's got, Pizza Pronto tied up with Giovanni's, a delivery business. They went from doing $1,000 a day to $6,000 a day. So, and they were using social media to get into specific neighborhoods, say, hey, we could have a fresh pizza made in your driveway from this food truck, like that, right? Bam, $6,000 in sales, new experience, flavors, smells, fresh, the colors, everything was targeted to the specific zip codes. And the psychology of marketing is fascinating. If people would, suspend their perceptions and what they think, and seek out resources from others who have just had the training or have been in the trenches a little bit, or pick up a psychology book. I mean, more and more with the internet, it's made sales and marketing everybody's job. It is not it is not wizardry. It is everybody's job.
No, and that's another thing is I always encourage, and we've been in a lot of the meetings for BNI, and I think one of the things is I encourage people to take control of their marketing themselves. After they get with a marketing company, a brand marketing company, to get maybe 6 months or a year worth of knowledge and education, they should take over their marketing. And honestly, a good 6 months or 12 months of being a tutorial, and then they can do it themselves. I mean, they're first of all, they're gonna understand their market. They're gonna understand what they need to do, and if they want to do it on their own, they can. If they don't, they can continue to subcontract out. But the reality is, I always tell people, well, this is what we're going to promise you. This is our guarantee. But if you do more, that's even better. Okay? Because to be honest with you, the more you market, the more that message gets out there per day, the more people. So I always tell people, I can actually market, let's say, a Yeti mug on Facebook for a very cheap price. Let's say I do that. I can, let's say, just put a couple $100 in, let's say $100 a month, which is still a lot of money on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm going to be guaranteed, let's say, 1,000 hits a day. Just throwing that number out there. But if I raise that to $300 and target a specific market and demographics, I will exponentially double my hits as well as my sales. It all comes down to numbers. The more numbers you hit, the more, and it's strategic, it's laser targeted, the more people you're going to get to buy your product or service. Right. And that's important because people don't understand that you can do a lot of internet social media marketing at a fraction of the cost for radio, print, and news, and media. I can tell you right now,
a lot of it can be done free if you know how to hack the system. And
if you know how to hack the system, we can teach you how to do a lot for free. And that's why I'm really big on doing these things, because one, most of them are free. The other thing is you can add in a referral program and give a 10% discount or give a $25 let's say Starbucks card or Home Depot card or Lowe's card or $25 gift card or $10 gift card. The thing is that you have to do these things now to surpass your competitors, because there are so many competitors. There's so many painters out there. There's so many AC companies, electric companies. There's so many general contractors out there. There's so much competition in the marketplace. Why do you think you see all these ads for the pizza companies? Okay, the competition is crazy. Okay, you see that with the Starbucks. You see that with a lot of different companies now. For example, Starbucks in the United States, they have 15,351 stores. Okay, they have a name recognition, a brand recognition. It's always being attacked. People. You see these smaller companies.
Self-inflicted too.
Self-inflicted. But you see all these smaller mom and pop companies start popping up, and actually new chains that are popping up all over the country now. And Starbucks is feeling the competition. They are using COVID to close some of the stores, but some of the stores are closing because they're not financially feasible anymore. They are not drawing enough customers. Because of their competition. The problem is, I use Foxtail and CFS coffee. People would rather, or not rather, but some people are gravitating towards these boutique coffee. And by the way, the cost of the coffee is the same. The products, honestly, in many cases, are better than Starbucks.
Well, they are. Yeah, I mean, that people don't know. And the Starbucks analogy is a good example of a brand that did a good job of branding themselves, even though their coffee esoterically is crap, because they burned the bean. And you ask any Colombian or Honduran who's like a coffee nut, they know that. But you're dead on. I mean, Lake Nona right now, 3 coffee shops just popped up, all independents.
Yeah,
and they're going to.
That's a good example. You make a great example.
Yeah. Now the other thing, my daughter last week, her boyfriend, her boyfriend's mother is a drop ship machine, kills it. So my daughter went up there, spent a day, learned it, and created a store, and she was doing stuff with her college logo. And her boyfriend, I'm going to go here in a second, but her boyfriend made a comment, you should do it for the high school. My daughter's mentally, I'm on to college. And I'm going, yeah, but your network is still that school where you were at. Your ability to fish, forget the brand you want, forget what you want. If you want to make money, fish in the pond, right? Where you can act, you know how these people think. That goes to our point of, surround yourself and learn from people around you. She went out and talked to a professional, solicit advice from people around you, because sometimes your eyes don't see the forest through the trees, right? And then boom, flip the switch, created the product for the local high school, bam, sales start occurring. Because local. Because then there's that personal connection of, oh, I know that person, I trust. They did that. Not, I'm selling you a product over the internet, which is still semi-impersonal because you haven't built a relationship it was brand new store. You haven't built that relationship, but you went to the school, everyone knows who you are, you have a relationship, you could sell it, and guess what? There's 3,000 kids in that school, and they can spend $14, right? Yeah. You just got to get a small piece of that market, and then duplicate, get an ambassador, plug into another school, get an ambassador, plug into another school. So it's important to have these discussions and surround yourself with people with their ideas and not be evangelical, as I say, with regard to your idea, right? Because the information is out there.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's all out there.
3 tips. What are the top 3 summary tips, and then plug your website and your phone number and all that jazz?
Your top 3 tips. First of all, take control of your own your social media and internet marketing. You got to be on there, and you got to be doing it consistently. I would say number 2, definitely starting getting reviews and testimonials for your business. That will be huge, and that means as many platforms as you can get: Facebook, Google, Yelp,
Bing,
Bing, Yahoo, whoever you.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody that you can think of. Nextdoor, I think, has a section for it on your website. I can tell you the more reviews and the more testimonials, the more business you're going to get. The third thing is I would definitely consider using a referral program. Those are very popular and very successful when they're done correctly. And that means when you do a referral program let's say a contest or something, give away a premium item. Okay. Either it be a gift card or a cash card or whatever, or a really nice product like a Yeti mug would be a good example, or a particular a Yeti cooler. I mean, you're gonna get a lot of people to come after you for a cooler. I can tell you that much. You throw out there a $50 or $100 item, and let's say there's 4 or 5. Let's say you offer 1 or 2 or maybe 4 or 5. I can tell you this much: you're gonna get a lot of people that are gonna want to jump on that. So that's what I would do.
Well, thanks, brother. I'm going to tell everyone what's the website and what's the phone number.
The website is www.redfoxpromo.com, and the phone number is, I knew you were going to ask for that.
It's www.redfoxpromo.com.
Yeah, and then hold on a second. Why does everybody always ask me the phone numbers when I don't know it? Hold on a second.
Never call yourself.
I never call myself. And the funny thing is, I can't get it connection here for some reason.
If I get it before you.
Can you get it for me?
I can try. Alexa, what's the phone number for Redfox Promo?
I got it.
866-723-2693.
No, that's not it. It's 407-775-2480.
Okay. 407-775-2480. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Tracy.
All right.